Hi, this is Kaushik Ranchod here. Welcome to our immigration show. I'm so happy to see all of you and thank you for tuning in. Today, you'll want to stay tuned because we're going to continue our J-1 waiver discussion, continue to look at what's happened and how we're able to get our cases approved. So stay tuned to learn how we did that with a case based off of marriage to a U.S. citizen and then one based off of a U.S. citizen child. So that leads us into the basic requirement of how do you qualify for a J-1 waiver. You need to have a qualifying relative, so that's through a spouse, lawful permanent resident or child, and not a parent, unlike the I-601A. So let's also talk about the hardships. Of course, you have to demonstrate exceptional hardship. That's the legal standard. So it's not just mere separation. It's not just like I'm going to miss my wife or miss my child if I'm abroad. It's a higher standard. So we have to build that through demonstrating evidence of the hardships, which we're going to talk about, and also communicating, your personal story of hardship. So in our first case here, this that I want to talk about is through marriage to a U.S. citizen. And they came to us when they were out of status, meaning that they'd gone beyond the allotted time for the J-1 visa. And we were still able to get the case approved, so I'm going to explain how. So in this situation, they also just gave birth to their first child. So it was also based off of that child as well and the marriage. So one form of hardship that we argued was career hardship, that the spouse would not be able to do their profession abroad. They also owned a home, which is a huge financial responsibility, which they would not be able to fulfill if they would have went home as well. So that's a form of financial hardship too that we were able to demonstrate as well. Additionally, the client's husband would not be able to afford to take care of their child while the spouse was abroad. So that we tacked on as another form of financial hardship. So you see how it's not just one thing, it's like we build and build and build the case to explain the hardship, because exceptional hardship is such a high standard that a lot of times it's not just one thing. We have to tell the whole story of all of the different things that contribute to hardship. We talked here about the house, we talked about childcare, we talked about the profession, and you see all of those things are starting to create that exceptional hardship standards found by the government. And then additionally, there's the safety issue of going back to their home country as well. That's how we got this case approved. Now I want to compare it to a different case, a case where the client's from a Middle Eastern country, and this was based off of hardship to the child. So here the couple entered while on a J-1 visa and the spouse was on a J-2, and they had their first child while they were in the United States, so they had a U.S. citizen child. The child is now a healthy, well-adjusted child, and so of course the client did not want to take their child back to their home country. We focused on this case based off of factors of safety going back to their home country, poor educational system going back to the home country, and additionally, unavailability of comparable medical care. Those three factors there, we're talking about how the education system does not compare to the US, where potentially one's life could be at harm or even at risk. And then additionally, client had financial hardship because if they went back to their home country, they would barely be able to get by. Whereas here, they had a very good salary. So you'll see in these two case studies that there's different ways that we approach the hardship. And the reason is because every case is unique. And so depending upon what those hardships are, depends on whether or not, one, you can get the case approved, because your case may not qualify for a hardship waiver, and that's what we like to evaluate. And second, we approach it based off of your unique situation. And let's talk about the process of the hardship waiver. So in the first case where we talked about marriage to a U.S. citizen, we were still able to apply even though she was out of status. And then once their hardship waiver is approved, they were eligible to apply for a green card based off of marriage. And the process entails first filing an application with the Department of State, getting the third-party barcode page, and then filing the waiver application with USCIS. We like to prepare a detailed legal brief outlining all of those hardships that we mentioned, with, of course, supporting documentation backing up every form of hardship, because the government's not going to just take your word for it. And then we submit the application, and then it's just a waiting game, and then that's all I have for now. So thank you for tuning in to our immigration show. If you like this video, please smash the like button, and you can post your comment below. And until next time, bye for now.